Hi all, and welcome back to my channel, Quilter Chris. My name is Kristen, and I'm so glad you're here. And so today we're going to talk about what have I been working on. And I realize it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, like over 6 months. So I took several of my favorite projects over the last 6 months, and I wanted to share them with you here. So first up, we're going to have my recent projects. These are going to be mostly completed projects and what I've done. My One of my biggest projects I did was I made a weighted blanket. Um, I have 5 children, and my fourth child, Sarah, is currently active duty Air Force, and she's not here at home. She's a ways away. And so she requested a weighted blanket. And so I made a quilt version of this. And so this was a really big project. I had never done this before, and I didn't have a lot of instructions on how to do it. But I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. If I were to do it again, I think I would do it a little bit differently. Um, but yeah, I wanted to show it to you. This it's basically it was a quilt top. I sectioned it into squares. I used the little beads to add weight to it, and then I sealed it up. Back in December, I purchased a long arm. Now, this had been an item that I had wanted for a very long time. Prior to having the long arm, I quilted all my quilts on my domestic, and I had done that for about 15 years. So I had gotten really good at stippling and swirls and basic free motion quilt designs. So I purchased a long arm, and I purchased a Moxie. This is a small, low end, more economical machine to purchase. So this my machine is not computerized. There is nothing automatic about it. The throat space it has is only 15 inches. And so this is just free motion quilting, but there's definitely a learning curve for this. So I've done about 10 to 15 quilts on it so far. I knew I was wanting to purchase this in the near future, so I did have a stack of kind of practice quilts I wanted to do, plus other quilts that I just made that I was saving for the long arm. So I have been working on that recently, and I'm pretty happy with the results. I've done both some pantographs where you trace the design by using it on the back of the machine, and I've done free motion design on the top, mostly stippling with some swirls. So I have a picture here that I'm going to put up and show it all to you. And essentially, this is just me practicing with rulers on this quilt. And I was pretty happy with this. It takes me a really long time, and I'm not so used to it taking such a long time. I'm usually pretty quick with my quilting. So one of these finishes was the Tea Party quilt by Flamingo Toes. Now, this was a quilt that I made for my before mentioned daughter, Sarah. Her supervisor had been a really big source of support for her since she had been away from home, and I wanted to do a nice gesture. So what I did was I made this quilt. Um, Both Sarah and her supervisor enjoyed going to tea shops and having tea and that whole experience trying new teas. So this was a tea themed quilt, and I completed this Lori Holt scrappy quilt. This is a quilt that was made completely with Lori Holt line of fabrics by Riley Blake. It's scrappy in that I use various fabrics, but they're all Lori Holt fabrics. I did this with just a stippling design. It still needs the binding put on it. That will come later. I was waiting until I had a few quilts to do, and then I would do the binding all at once. In fairness, that quilt has been sitting there a couple of months waiting for binding. It might be sitting there a couple more months, honestly. I also got to quilt my first customer quilt. My friend Lisa Benson, she decided to take a risk on me and allow me to quilt her quilt. I did do it for free since she was my first customer quilt. And I just did an all over stippling design. Her quilt is amazing. It's this beautiful blue and white quilt, and it's just stunning to look at. I understand that she made it for a friend, and I was truly honored that she let me quilt that for her, and so excited that I was able to do a good enough job for someone to want me to quilt their quilt for them. So that was great. Another finish I had here that I'm going to show you, this is called Prairie Stars. And this was a pattern I got from Corey Yoder. She does great on YouTube here. She has lots of tutorials. She talks about her patterns. I got hers from her Etsy shop. She has a pattern that she sells for $5 once a month, like she highlights it, and this was one of those patterns. The fabric was not her fabric, it was a fat quarter bundle I had had in my stash. I don't remember who the designer was, but I do really love this quilt. I think it's so cute. So then the one I currently have on my long arm is the 2024 Designer Mystery Block of the Month. If you follow my channel, this is a quilt that I have shown you how I've pieced it every month, and this is a Fat Quarter Shop exclusive. I've completed my quilt top, and I'm practicing swirls. This is the first quilt that I'm doing swirls on with the long arm. So this first one, this is the 2025 Block of the Month quilt. Now this is a Fat Quarter Shop exclusive. This is their designer mystery block of the month. All I have gotten so far is the fabric for the first block, and I've already done a video for that, and I've showed it to you. I just saw today that they have shipped me out the finishing kit and block 2. So as soon as I get that, I'll come on here and I'll show it all to you. I'm excited. I have no idea what the finishing kit's going to look like, and I don't know anything about the second block, so I will be sharing it all with you once I know. Next up is the Tula Pink Dragon Fruit Block of the Month. This one I have gotten behind. So the last kit I received the finishing kit for that one I received last month, but I still have 2 other blocks to do. So we'll still continue to do those. I'll do those last 2 blocks and I'll put it together. Unfortunately, it is too big. I don't think it's going to fit on my long arm. So when I go to quilt it, I have a couple of options. I can quilt it on my domestic if I would like, or the quilt shop that I bought my long arm from has an agreement where I can bring in, if a quilt is too large for my frame, I can bring it in and quilt it in their shop on a bigger frame at no charge. So I may do that going forward. We'll have to see when I complete it, but I'll show you that one once I finish it. So the next section is bags. I also like to sew bags. I started sewing bags about 12 to 13 years ago, and I started going to craft fairs and selling them, and I made most of my bags out of cotton and some interfacing. I had a domestic machine, and that's how I made them, and that's how I sold them, and I really enjoyed doing that. Fast forward to a couple of years ago, I think it'll be 2 years this past October, I purchased a Juki industrial machine, the 1181 in, and with it I can sew vinyl. So I'm going to show you some of the bags that I've completed here. The first is the Wayfarer bag. This is a crossbody sling, which is my favorite. I like to carry my stuff, but I like my hands free. And so this has been my daily bag. In March, I actually took this on vacation on the airplane. I stuffed it full. It did great. The only thing is I'm not a fan of that cotton webbing. I don't know if I'll use it again for that type of bag, but I really enjoyed the bag itself, and I'm really happy with it. And so this is made with vinyl on the outside, and inside it's waterproof canvas, which means it cleans up and wipes up really easy. All these bags are made with vinyl on the outside and waterproof canvas on the inside. This next one is the Dreamer Pack. Now, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Loungefly bags. This is that same kind of shape as a Loungefly, the mini backpacks. So I made this one. It's Care Bear. I feel like I used maybe too much interfacing, so it's kind of stiff. So right now, it just hangs in my sewing room. It's kind of a reference photo for when I make other ones. I made another one for my youngest daughter, and she really loves it. But I do think this one's really cute, and it's made with Care Bears, and I have a special place in my heart for Care Bears. The next is the H2O to go bag, and This is such a cute and really universal and so helpful bag. So this holds a water bottle. So in here I have a Starbucks cup just to show you how it works. And so this is Tangled theme from the Disney movie, and this will be the bag when we go to Disney in a couple of months. This will be the bag that my daughter takes for our Disney trip. She's super excited. So you can wear it crossbody, you can wear it on your shoulder. It's got a little zipper pocket so you can put any kind of necessities in there, and then you can carry it around. And it's a super quick make. So we really enjoy that one. This next one is called the Saya Sidekick. It's by Lynn's Handmade, as is the previous H2O to go. This is a backpack, kind of like a knapsack style. And I just think that this is so fun. I thought it would be too big for me, but I have been using it the last few days, this purple one, as my regular bag, and I think it's great. So I'm making the Mickey one that I'm going to show you. I'm making that one to be my park bag for when we go to Disney because it can hold a lot. And inside of it, it can hold the same size cup, that Starbucks size cup in it, and I just think that's great. The inside's waterproof canvas, so even if my drink were to spill a little bit, it's easy to wipe down. Then I've been making tons of these purse pals. I put them in my Etsy shop and they sell super fast. They're really easy to make and they're just fun. They can hold cash, your cards, whatever. And it's easy for me to match them to my bags, and they're really flat, so they just tuck in really, really easily. They're great. So after showing you all this, what's next? What's next for the channel? So we're going to finish our dragon fruit block of the month. So we'll continue to do that one until it's done, at least once a month, maybe twice a month. Those blocks they can take a long time to complete. The 2025 designer mystery block of the month, we'll keep going with that one. And so it's a real fun one. I also hope to maybe have some vlog postings of when we go to Disney in September. We'll probably stop at some local quilt shops and I'll stop and share with you what I found, what unique treasures they have, what's good to see. So um, I'm excited for that because I hope in a few years when I retire to just travel around and go to all the quilt shops. Like, that sounds great. Also, the last time I shared with you my sewing room, that was in November of last year, and there's been a bunch of updates in here. I've gotten the long arm, we rearranged things, I hung my patterns up for my bag so I can get to them. So I'm excited to show you what I've done. So I'll probably do that sometime in December. I also have gotten some new Lori Holt patterns. There was sadly a quilt shop that went out of business nearby me about February timeframe, and I was able to get a lot of things when they had their clearance sale. So I hope to make a Lori Holt quilt and show you my applique process, which is different than Lori's. I also, as I mentioned before, I hope to show you how I organize my fabric and my scraps, and how I put all that together in my sewing room. I feel like that's a little bit different than the sewing room tour, but so I'll show you how I keep that organized. But I would love to hear what you're working on, or what things you would like to see from this channel, or what tutorials I can do that you would really like to see. I would love to hear from you. Put them in the comments. Um, Share with me all the things. Share with me all the things. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video with me. If you like this and you want to see more of this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We would love to have you here. And thank you all for watching. Bye-bye now.